Round 1, Purrely versus Mikanko. Now, a lot of people don't understand that equip cards work against the Purrely Nor. So if we were going to look at a deck like Mikanko, let's type that in here, and we'll put in equip cards. You could actually equip onto the Purrely Nor a Rondo. And by equipping the Rondo onto it, if you just normal summon a Mikanko, it doesn't activate. It just equips it right away. So a good trick is to equip Rondo onto the Purrely Nor, and if they're not smart enough, they're not going to spin it. You normal summon, immediately you take control of it. So is that going to be the case here? Is that how we're going to out it? Or we could just use a Kaiju, because that's also very popular in this matchup. When we snap it, we could snap also. I see Marvel Snap is popping off. This is Mikanko versus Purrely. Who I got? Who's my money on? My money is probably on Purrely. Purrely is the best deck right now. Going into this tournament, the tier list being... Whoa, Kashtira has just overtaken Purrely on the tier list? What is going on in these tournaments? Brandon Despio has overtaken Labrynth? Okay. Call by the Grave is going to negate the Droll in Lockbird. I do not think so. Okay. As he's adding the Herald of the Abyss, so a lot of people are using this as the main combo to deal with the Purrely Nor. The Nor activates in the standby phase, resulting in them drawing a card, and then that makes the Thrust activatable to add the Herald of the Abyss. The big problem, though, is the Herald of the Abyss is going to declare Dark and Fairy. There's another Dark Fairy on the field. So you have to actually deal with the Lily before you could send the Purrely Nor to the graveyard. How are we going to do this? I guess we have to summon the Fenrir and get swinging. Harpy Feather Duster wiping up that back row. Now, but my friend Purrely is protected from the Happy Memory. And at the start of the battle phase, you're going to have to toggle on before the attack, which we're not the start of the battle phase anymore. We have to spin it back. Well, we actually did. There you go. S for start. I guess there's a little bit of lag on the replay there. That's going to make it so on the attack, it's not going to be able to banish. Thus, the Purrely Nor is protected from the Herald of the Abyss. And we also have triple tactics talent here. We're going to attempt to take control of the Lily so we can send the Purrely Nor. And now our Herald of the Abyss is no more. It's no good. It's not going to even help us. Making a Masquerena, now sending a Lily to the graveyard for the cost of 1,500 life. What was meant for the Purrely Nor is no more. Now we have the My Friend Purrely guaranteeing a quick play spell to our hand here as we grab a Delicious with a 66% chance, making the Masquerena indestructible by battle as we now add a Stray Purrely Street. Now with the Happy Memory, we could turn into a Happiness and then continually swing into the indestructible Masquerena for over 8,000 damage, and that's exactly what that is. Unfortunately for Morisaki, we did not get to watch Game 1 nor Game 2 if there was more than one game before this. Starting this off, round 1, setting a ninja so we could special summon our Mitsu, which is a monster negate. We're going to be maxi drawing 1 off of this, which means we now can't fusion summon. Well, we could, but it would result in drawing a card. Now, Mitsu will be able to negate a monster by flipping up the face down, then flipping herself face down. And if she does not flip herself face down, the negate does not happen. Now, what's cool about the Ninjutsu Art Notebook is it could summon a ninja from the graveyard and a notebook card from the deck, but we didn't have anything in the graveyard. So what is going on here? We are sending the green ninja to the graveyard, summoning a Baku. Baku is now on summon, going to target a ninjutsu or ninja in the graveyard and adding it to the hand. And we're also going to be using the effect of the green ninja to flip a card on the field face down, but the Tracer, being in a quick effect, is going to pop a card before being flipped, and by popping the Absolouter, we're going to grab a rocket from the deck, or it looks like we're popping herself. Mitsu is going to negate the pop. You ain't popping nothing. You're not summoning a rocket from the deck. I do not think so, and we still have impermanence. There's the Mitsu with the negate. Now, let's follow this up. We have not even committed to our normal summon here. Now, normal summoning, we are going to be going into the Yagumaru, which on summon will banish a card in the field, getting rid of the Tracer by banishing a ninja card from the grave. Very well done. We actually stopped Dragon Link in their tracks. Now, we have Hanzo. Hanzo searching for the Iron Digger, which can turn any monster on the field into a ninja, also boosting up its attack. Notebook, summoning Mitsu from the graveyard face down, which we could send to the graveyard to make a fusion summon. It's setting up a duplication to be used next turn, sending 2 ninjas to the graveyard to make a Maizen. Maizen allowing the direct attack of every monster we control. Now we're going to be using the Iron Digger to banish a ninja card to pop a card in the field, now making Cross Sheep. If we get special summon to where the Cross Sheep is pointing to, we'll summon another monster from the grave. 3,200 damage we have here. Baku, when added to the hand, will summon itself onto the field, triggering the Cross Sheep when pointing to a fusion to reborn from the graveyard a Hanzo. Hanzo on special summon will search for a ninja. We got the Iron Digger going back to our hand here. We are now making the Boral Sword Dragon, but there's a problem. The Boral Sword, which can attack twice, cannot attack directly because it's not a ninja, or at least not yet. We're going to be using the Iron Digger, turning the Boral Sword into a ninja, and now, because of Maizen's effect, all ninjas we control can attack directly. Double attack with Boral Sword. Game 1 victory over Dragon Link. Earl GB, ain't no way. Very well done. We are quickly launching into a Rocket Tracer. Now, the big question is, when do we use our Ash Blossom? Baron DeFlores here with the Omni Negate plus the Erratic Seal could spin any card in the field back to the hand non-targeting. And we're going to have to deal with that Max C, drawing per special summon. Special summoning our Fenrir, not activating to search for another one. Regained is going to be triggered, reborning our branded monster from the graveyard, which will be a Bestial, that is. Very good, searching for our Iron Digger to make our turn 2 plays with. Equipping onto the Fenrir to boost up its attack to 2,900, using the Erratic Spheres to spin back the Fenrir. Fenrir is gone. Iron Digger now sent to the graveyard. Erratic Seals is going to be activating to summon a monster from the deck, 0 attack. Ash Blossom is negating the Notebook from resetting the Iron Digger, which would be usable, plus summoning a ninja from the deck. That is a big negate. We still have not used the Baron DeFleur negate, and just like that, we are folding to Dragon Link. Turn 1, Baron DeFleur and Erratic Seal was too much for ninjas, but now ninjas is going first. And all we need is a duplication or the Ninja Wind Trap. We just need some sort of ninja back row card to have a good turn 1. Reinforce the army, not going to negate that because they may have another Hanzo in the hand. We're going to Tobari, special summon the Hanzo from the hand, not using the effect to search for a ninjutsu card, but a ninja instead. Quite interesting here. Okay. We could use the Iron Digger to return the Hanzo back to the hand, actually. Okay. But then we could normal summon the Hanzo. So maybe we were baiting the negate. Ash is going to negate the Maxi. You will not be drawing per special summon here. We can special summon the Mitsu. Now making our Maizen. If we activate anything, it will result in the Maizen summoning a ninja from the deck. We're just passing. Oh boy. This is not good. We have no disruption. Well, this actually turns into disruption. We could summon a Tobari from the deck, then Tobari could go into a Yagumaru. Yagumaru will be able to banish a card in the field. But when do we do it? When do we get banishing? We don't want to banish a Link 1. Do we save it for banishing a Link 2? We get Tobari out and then maybe activate it before they summon a negate, before they can make a Borland Dragon. And we do have to be careful of a card like Goddess. As soon as they have a Link 2 plus 2 other monsters, they could use our monster to make the Goddess. Dark is here to summon a Dark monster from the opposing graveyard. And this is where we could chain the Maizen summon from the deck if we want to. Or not. When are we using Maizen? I think he wants to play around Triple Tactics Talent and play around Triple Tactics Thrust. Now, the issue here is when Maizen summons Tobari, we now can't fuse into the Yagumaru because we have nothing to fuse with. I guess this will force it to activate. And if he had a Triple Tactics Thrust or Talent, we are just forcibly playing right into it. Summoning a Kagaro instead of Tobari here as we reborn the Tobari from the graveyard face down. If attacked into the Tobari, it's not going to be destroyed. We're going to be searching for a Druid Swarm, banishing a Light or Dark from either player's graveyard here. Sending to the graveyard to summon our Lubellion, using Druid Swarm to send the Tobari, which could not be destroyed by battle or card effect if it were summoned onto the field, but it was face down and now sent to the graveyard, not destroyed. Access code Talker, 5,300 attack, able to wipe out the Kagaro. Now we just need 2,700 damage in the field for game. And just like that, Borreload Savage Dragon for that over 8,000 damage for game, able to wipe out Kagaro with our Striker Dragon being banished. And just like that, over 9,000 damage, unfortunately. Ninja is falling to Dragon Link. Earl GB, thank you so much for bringing Ninja to the tournament, my friend. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for the deck, but it just wasn't meant to be. Let's hop into another duel. We have Dimension Shifter, which we have to activate before anything is sent to our graveyard here, negating the Pressured Planet, which worked out very well here because we had the Theosis. We would have maybe had a Fenrir on the field, and you would Ash the Theosis, then Fenrir would still be able to search here. We're going to be chaining Maxi to our Dimension Shifter, which you have to use it in that order, otherwise the Maxi would make it so the Shifter cannot be activated. Now, anything sent to the graveyard is banished. Boda playing a fish deck, completely passing, not able to use the Foolish Burial Goods to send a card from the deck to the graveyard here. Rise Heart is going to be banishing a Fenrir, Theosising a Unicorn onto the field, searching for a birth, birthing the Fenrir onto the field. Can we put over 8,000 damage in one turn? As we now summon our Fenrir, Fenrir giving us our Rise Heart. We did not special summon Rise Heart, we only normal summoned one. We do not have access to Big Bang, and we are not going to be dealing 8,000 damage here as we just swing for 26. Now, Shangri could be a scary activation during the standby phase because it triggers cards like Thrust, but we do not care as we summon a Unicorn from the deck. We're going to use the goods to send an Ice Barrier from the deck to the graveyard, triggering the Birth and also triggering the Ice Barrier to send a water monster from the deck to the graveyard, then add one from the graveyard to the hand, which could be a Kaiju. Instead, we're going to send the Deep Sea King. Okay, we already have one in the hand here. And now we are going to be summoning our right-hand shark, special summoning our Abyss Shark. If we exceed with the right-hand shark, the monster cannot be destroyed by battle, but the Fenrir has now banished it as we now lock up that zone that was once there. Also using the field spell after the activation of the Shangri to pop a card in the field. What is going on? We got nothing. Shangri summoning from the deck in defense, our Scareclaw Kashtira that can attack while in defense, searching for the Ogre, normal summoning the Ogre with the effect of the Birth. More than enough for lethal damage here. Boda, I am so sorry, my friend. I know you tried, and I wanted to see you do well. You got shifted, max seed, completely stopping your main opening play. Damn. Drytron is back, maybe? What is going on? We got Vanity Ruler. Your opponent cannot special summon monsters, and it's a double tribute. Well, we don't really use our normal summon as a Drytron player, so let's see what we could do. This is not Kashtira. It is Purrely. Fenrir for Fenrir. We got Sleepy Memory, discarding the Fenrir. Discard Fodder, that works out well. Now we got the regular Purrely randomly off the top three of the deck, adding the Pretty Memory to the hand, which can now turn into a monster negate. We have Lily searching for my friend Purrely, which could add any quick play spell from the deck, which we're going to be guaranteed adding our Delicious Memory. Now, with Lily, Delicious, and two other quick play spells, we're going to be able to set up for our Plump. So Plump is going to be summoned with the regular Purrely instead. We're going to chain to the Pretty Memory, equipping onto it. You could chain link block this, which would have been quite beneficial. Now we just need two more equip cards to equip onto. We only have Sleepy Memory. So what are we going to do? By discarding the Impermanence, we now meet the requirement for Plump to make it 5 material. Imperm, Sleepy, 5 material, X Purrely Nor. Now we got regular Purrely, also adding another card to the hand off the top of the deck. We have Sleepy Memory, which we could also attach to our Plump here. Yes, we are. So we're going to have additional draws and chain equipping from the graveyard here. That's going to be 6 materials under the Plump, making it a 7 material X Purrely Nor. It's going to be huge. And Drone Lockbird's going to completely decimate Drytron. Unaffected from activated effects. We're now going to make Robin. If you special summon a monster, we're going to spin it back to the hand and do it twice. Uh-oh. Get the draw, which would trigger a card like Thrust, but we do not care. Drawing a Triple Tactics talent, drawing a Max C. Use the Max C right away. And the Fafnir is going to be adding a card which will now trigger our Drone Lockbird, which also stops our Max C. So we can't draw because we drilled our Max Seed, but they can't add any more cards from the deck to the hand, and that is enough to scoop it up. Back in the day when Drytron was tier 1, draw was the way to beat them. Very well done. Now Drytron's going to be going first, but he could also open up Drone Lockbird again. Let's find out. Oh, Mind Control. What the heck is going on? That's a Duel Links card. We're going to be discarding card, special summoning a Purrely, adding a card off the top of the deck. Now, Boob Job lost game 1 and chose to go second. Well, They do have a go second deck. They have mind control. They have evenly matched. So and even Natasha takes control of monsters. So even with the opportunity to go first, we said no. We're gonna beat you anyway. We're gonna be attaching the 7th material, which will be a 3rd Sleepy. We're gonna draw 3 during the standby phase, which could be scary against cards like a triple tactic thrust. That's the 3rd Sleepy, and we have triple spin plus a monster negate. We have 4 disruptions. Maybe drawing in a hand trap. Draw 1, draw 2, draw 3, and we're going to the Max C. We're not gonna called by the Max C. Very interesting. Evenly matched, banishing everything but the X-Purrely Noir. We have triple spin, no end phase spin on the Call by the Grave. Okay. Now we're going to be setting Book of Moon to then suck up the Call by the Grave, using Called by to banish the Lily from the graveyard. We can't spin our own cards from our graveyard back in the deck unless we have a card like the Purrely Leap. Purrely Leap is going to spin the Lily back in the deck, dodge in the finger. Tom with the $20, glad I could catch you live. Your content got me back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Paper, of course. I can't deal with MD's gotcha system. It's cringe. Keep it up. We also need more Gia in our lives. Tom, thank you so much, Gia.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom, you're amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Holy moly, what the heck is going on? You're amazing, thank you. We're gonna spin the evenly matched back in the deck with the effect of the X-Purrely Noir because we were wanting to detach the Delicious so we could equip it with the Lily on the field, which dodged the Call by the Grave with the effect of the Leap. That was very well done here. We are super boosting up this plump. Are we making an X-Purrely Happiness? No way. I don't think so. A lot of people do not play the card, but I do think it is worth playing. We're going to protect our My Friend Purrely from being destroyed. We're going to be sucking up the Delicious Memory to further boost up our plump, which will be a massive X-Purrely Happiness attacking directly. Yes, it is! X-Purrely Happiness! This has the animation, not the X-Purrely Noir. 6,700, dealing 1,500 on the attack. Lethal damage with the X-Purrely Noir. It just like that 2-0 victory, and we never got to see Drytron cook. Unfortunately, did we really want to see them cook? Ariana searching for our Coup Clock. Coup Clock being sent to the grave. You could chain your Chandelier by discarding a card, which will trigger the clock to summon itself onto the field or adding itself back to the hand. Now the Big Welcome Labrynth, as long as we control a Labrynth monster, is activatable. The turn it is set, summoning our Lovely, returning back the clock, triggering her effect to pop a random card from the hand. What are we randomly popping? Also Chandelier, because a trap made a monster leave the field, is going to add itself back to the hand. So we could do a combo similar to that during the next turn, taking out a Dark Ruler no more, which is not so good against Labrynth. We're going to set up the Big Welcome, but we do have the combo to potentially set up a Dimensional Barrier, making it so you cannot exceed. We did not do it during the draw phase. We could have set up an Eradicator, set up a Dimensional Barrier. We're just waiting because we want the disruption of the lovely Labrynth. Now, the problem is, if you disrupt the Unicorn right now, if you pop it, it has no restriction that states it can only be special summoned once per turn this way. We'll just summon the other Unicorn. I'm curious if we're going to use the disruption right now. Yes, we are. We're going to be summoning our lovely Labrynth, returning the lady, I should say summoning lady, returning lady to trigger the lovely and trigger the Ariana. Now, Ariana's going to draw a card and we can set a card or special summon onto the field. We're going to set the Big Welcome, lovely pop the Unicorn, and now we're going to max C for the follow-up Unicorn play. Triple Tactics talent because you activated a monster effect. We're going to be drawing 2 here. We have the Field Spell. That's quite good. We still have the Clock, and we still have the play with the Lady. Now, unfortunately, the Lady is not going to be able to set a trap from the deck because we already used the effect of the Big Welcome. So the ability to set up the Dimensional Barrier, we passed on that play to make the disruption of Lovely Labrynth be our main play. Was it worth it, though? Then we are searching for the Rise Heart. We have $5 from Raul Soares. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you greatly. Raul Soares Marcelino. And you can let me know if I mispronounce your name in any way, my friend. I want to make sure I do my best to say it correctly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Now, we have the Clock activating to summon itself onto the field because you discard a card to activate a Labrynth card. We're going to be using the Welcome Labrynth and now chaining the Lady to the Welcome to set up a Big Welcome, which will be usable next turn. This is not disruption, unfortunately. Now, Double Lady cannot be targeted. That was our turn. That was it. We passed after that. Okay, well, we were under max C. Now, what you have to try to do, I know it's difficult to think about this because you want to save your Book of Moon for something better, but if you don't chain Book of Moon to the trap activating, then they're going to chain their lady to the trap, setting a new trap from the deck, now returning the clock back to the hand, then discarding the clock, then using that newly set trap activatable this turn. And you could have stopped all of it by just Book of Mooning. Just got to chain link block the lady. Imperm being activatable this turn is not a big deal. So you know what? Actually not a big problem. Return the clock, summon the Ariana. Ariana is going to be activating to search the deck for a Labrynth card. Welcome is activating because a trap made a monster leave the field. It's going to set itself onto the field. We're going to use the Fenrir to banish the Ariana. Because the ladies are both untargetable, we cannot even banish them. So maybe we want to save the Fenrir for a card like Lovely, but Lovely's already banished in the game, and it's banished face down. We have no way to interact with her. She's gone from the whole game. That's it. Most players do not play double Lovely. They do play double Clock, though. Using the effect of the Welcome Labrynth, summoning our Ariana, using the field spell to pop a card in the field, taking out the Fenrir. It just like that, over 9,000 damage, now down to 7,500, barely surviving as we cannot Book of Moon the ladies. $10 from Andy M. W Stream, plans on future YouTube streams? I can tell you right now, we got big plans for YouTube streams just from the support we're already receiving. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Andy M. Special sum. Yeah, every stream here on out should be on Twitch and YouTube, but I still may do some exclusive streams for either or. I may do some random casual streams on YouTube that may not be on Twitch, vice versa. I'm still figuring it out, but thank you very much. Using the Labrynth field spell with the effect of the Welcome Labrynth, not only summoning a Labrynth onto the field, but destroying the Fenrir before it activates to search the deck. We are now setting up the Welcome Labrynth from the graveyard to be usable next turn. Using the Impermanence to negate the Unicorn, April has full control of this duel. We don't even have enough life points to activate the Herald of the Abyss. We have a dead Big Bang, which some Kashtira players are actually taking it out of their deck because they do not want to draw it. Banishing Theosis, which would activate to add a banished Kashtira, which we have none. Now making Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. I do think that this is a Zeus play. Zeus play that's not going to work. Spin back the Red Eyes Flare Metal back to the hand. Not able to Zeus it up, not able to battle with an Exceed. Taking this into game number 2. Now let's do that. Of course, we're going to be dropping that Max C within the draw standby phase before the special summon of the Kashtira. Ash is going to negate the Pot of P from adding a card among the top 6 cards of the deck here. I do not think so. Now, we have Thrust. We could thrust a card into our back row, which will be evenly matched. That's not so good. This is why I like teching in a card like Dimensional Barrier, only because if you Max C me, you deserve to get de-barriered. Now, evenly against Labrynth is actually not that bad. You're going to be afraid to set up now. And if you can't deal with that evenly early, which is only going to be activatable during the end of the battle phase, so you do have plenty of opportunities with the lovely Labrynth to take it out. It's so well telegraphed here, just deal with it. And of course, do not enter the battle phase if you do not have just one card in the field. Ariana could poke for 16 now, though. This would be worth it. And I think we should have done that before setting up this, unless we're going to use Lovely to pop it, which we're probably not. We're going to set up the big welcome. Special summoning our Coup Clock onto the field by discarding a card to activate the Chandelier. Now chaining Maxi to the big welcome Labrynth here, summoning from the deck. We will just be drawing one, I believe. I don't think we're special summoning more than once here. We could have made a Muckraker if we wanted to, then Reborn Lovely, but why would we even want to do that? Chandelier is not a Torby, so it's not summoning itself onto the field. So effective against Maxi here, very good. Lovely, popping a card in the hand or on the field, taking out the evenly match, setting up the Impermanence to be used next turn, as we can now safely attack. Foxhound is in trouble. Lovely is really controlling this duel. I think the big 3 decks, Labrynth, Kashtira, and Purrely, give a lot of options for players in the Duels Cup. A lot of different play styles for what you want to play here. They're going to be Ash negating the Max C. We could special summon that Unicorn. Are we going to Imperm negate the Unicorn? Yes, we are. You are not going to be able to use the other Unicorn. We could use Imperm. We could use Book of Moon, that is. We chain Book of Moon, flip down our Unicorn. We search for a birth additional summon the Unicorn. Then we can't really do anything with it. So it's not really worth it. So we're just going to hold on to the Book of Moon here. Chandelier, discarding the Clock. Clock will be able to, if it did not already activate this turn, summon itself onto the field or add itself from the graveyard back to the hand, but it already activated. We're going to use the Unicorn, spinning it back to the hand with the effect of the big welcome, triggering the Lovely to pop the Book of Moon, newly set so it is not activatable, or we could pop a card from the hand, but of course the face down would be much better here. This is the power and control of Labrynth. using the big welcome on your turn, using the big welcome on the next turn from the graveyard. As long as you have a Lovely or Lady, you could spin any monster on the field back to the hand. And just like that, controlling Kashtira. Game 1, Game 2, back-to-back control. April from Branded Despia now playing Labrynth. I'm not sure if that says something. Are we ditching Branded Despia, getting ready for the Duelist Cup with Labrynth instead? Possibly. Let's keep on going. You saw someone play Brand Fusion deck without Brand Fusion? What? Ain't no way. Pod E being negated by the Ash here. We could still set up with our big welcome, and if we maybe want to have a body on the field, or okay, we have welcome and big welcome. This works out very well. We could summon a Lady, then we could chain the big welcome with Lady on the field to set another trap for the deck if we want to. We're going to be using Maxi before the Link 1 summon. Call by the Grave is going to be banishing the Maxi. And just like that, we have $10 from Andy M. Again, one last question. Thoughts on using Truffle for YouTube chat? It's an extension made by Ludwig. Gia's going to Google that and set that up. We definitely want to do that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I did hear something about that. So anything you see that we should be changing or adding, let me know. The finger goes through, banishing the Maxi. And again, thank you, Andy M. $30 total. Oh my, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a rival to the hand, but do we want to summon under, we negated the Maxi, so it's okay. So this was very good. By returning the Rykart back to the hand, a very good counter to Scareclaw is disrupting their normal summon. And if they don't have a body in the graveyard, they can't use the Arrival to Reborn, and now they can't Link 1. So completely decimated off that play, but we are also now going to get thrusted. What's the thrust going to go into? Thrust into a triple tactics talent, into a draw 2 potentially. Maybe we want to take control of the Lovely. Let's see. I think Scareclaw Kashtira is under the radar. A deck that's potentially very, very good. Dark Holing before using the thrust. Now the thrust can't add a card to the hand. We needed her to be on the field so we could add to the hand, then we Dark Hole. Wrong order. Harpy Feather Duster being sent to the back row instead of being added to the hand. Maybe we could have added a better normal spell to the hand like Triple Tactics Talent I was talking about. Chandelier with the big welcome. Labrynth is here. Summoning Lovely. Return the Chandelier. Trigger the Lovely. Pop a card on the field or in the hand. Do we care about the Harpy Feather Duster or do we take a card out of the hand? We know exactly what's in the hand. Not us, but they do. They know that they search for a rival. They know that they spun back the Rykart. So maybe pop in the, I don't know, you pop the Rykart, then they could reborn it with a rival, then a rival. It's not even a hard once per turn. They could just use another one. We're going to be activating the Welcome Labrynth, also resetting itself onto the field. So maybe we take out the Harpy Feather Duster here. That would be the way. No, we're going for the hand, taking out the Arrival. And because more than one's activatable, even one being taken out is beneficial here. And we do have to expect to get Harpy Feather Dusted, but within the draw phase, we could make some plays. Before they activate the Harpy Feather Duster, we're going to summon an Ariana. Ariana activating to search for a Lady. Summon the Lady before activating the Big Welcome. Yes, and then we're going to use the Big Welcome, chaining the Lady, setting a new trap from the deck here, but where's the clock? There's no clock. We could summon the clock, return the clock back to the hand, and then we could activate the newly set trap before the Harpy Feather Duster is activated, which will be what? What are we doing? Thank you for the $5, Andrew Rowland. When is Flame Wingman and Infernal Rage coming to Master Duel? We hero players need it. I will leak it as soon as I am ready for it to be coming out soon. So do stay tuned for that. We're going to be popping the right card from the hand, now using the Harpy Feather Duster. And we did not discard the clock to make the Dimensional Barrier activatable, but against Scareclaw, is it even good to use Dimensional Barrier? It's all Link monsters, pretty much. Link, 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 Link. I guess we would call Exceed. Maybe they'd get a Rise Heart out. We're going to be setting up a Welcome Labrynth, ending the turn. He has no play. The Triple Tactics talent's not activatable because the Lady activated in the draw phase, not in the main phase. Otherwise, that's no good. Just like that, Gia Stepbro is surrendering with Scareclaw to Labrynth. What is going on with Labrynth today? Labrynth is clapping. Special summon our Fenrir. We didn't have Max C preemptively to be used here. Pot of P, digging deep. It is limited to 1 in TCG and OC. I should say Master Duel and OCG, but in TCG it's at 3. It's a $30 card. Adding the Coup Clock off the top of the deck here. Activating the clock. We can now use a newly set trap this turn. Discarding the Fenrir, as I said. Discard fodder, search it with Fenrir. And then we are now setting up a big Welcome. Now Clock will be activating to summon itself onto the field. We can now return Fenrir or the Clock back to the hand. Probably the Clock will be the play here. Return the Clock, trigger the lovely, pop a random card in the hand here. And it's going to be what? Chandelier also adding back to the hand to set up a trap during the opponent's turn, and the Clock will make it activatable. The Labrynth field spell will also make it so it can pop a card in the field, taking out Book of Eclipse, which would have flipped every card in the field face down, setting up the big welcome here. Now let's see what we do. What is the best way to play this? Nothing in the draw phase. That's interesting. Dark Hole, sucking up and destroying everything into a dark void. Goodbye to everything. We have the field spell searching for a Scareclaw. Now, it's not actually good to open up the field spell in Scareclaw. You want to search it with the link 1. That's not a mistake on their end. It's just a suboptimal opening. But we also had a Scareclaw to attempt to do that. And I do think you should probably try to bait Disruption on your normal summon, then follow up with a search if, you know, it actually is not good because your normal summon's really important in Scareclaw, and Labrynth will just disrupt it. Then you can't even link, you can't even use the card you add. You're just not in a good spot. This is the weakness of Scareclaw, needing your normal summon. And this is why you combine the deck with Kashtira, which special summons. So let's see what happens here. That's the normal summon, and if we could deal with that without putting it into the graveyard, we did not. Able to special summon our Scareclaw alongside the right card, searching for another field spell, which will not be activatable. We're gonna use Dragon Ice Prison, taking control of the right card to then banish a warrior on the opposing side of the field. They have a beast, warrior, so that does not work. We should have waited for the arrival, trying to reborn the right card, then we take control of it. Because otherwise, this does not really do anything. We're gonna be using, well, it does get our lovely onto the field early because we used a non-Labrynth trap. Now, Herald of the Abyss is gonna be activating to force the player to send a Dark Fiend from their field to the graveyard, which is the lovely Labrynth. But if we use Big Welcome to summon, then return the right card back to their hand, we could then send the newly summoned monster to the graveyard, also triggering Lovely to pop a card in the field or in the hand. This is very interesting. Also going to change Chandelier, discarding the Clock, set a new trap from the deck here. Focus. We got the Welcome Labrynth. Big Welcome, summoning, keep Torby on the field, spin back the right card, popping a card in the field with the effect of the Labrynth field spell, and sending Torby with the effect of the Herald of the Abyss. Now, triggering Lovely to get popping. Do we take out the Lightheart? Lightheart is protected from being destroyed if an arrival were to be in the graveyard, which it is not. So what do? Lovely, popping a random card from the hand, taking out Book of Eclipse again. Arriving onto the field. We got Balone, and now we're going to be making a Link 3. Tryhard will be forcing every monster on the field into defense, and we're unaffected from monsters that activate while in defense. Reborn a monster from the graveyard, search our deck for another Scareclaw. Special summoning that Scareclaw. With 3 defense position monsters on the field, including your opponent's monster, we could use our field spell to pop any card in the field, taking out the Welcome Labrynth. Now, Balone is giving us the ability to deal piercing battle damage, and the Astra is giving us double attack. Okay, down at 3,600, double Chandelier. Chandelier, discard Chandelier, setting up from the deck a Welcome Labrynth, which will be triggering the Clock to add itself onto the field here. Also using the Big Welcome to return the Clock back to the hand, which will be triggering, what here? Triggering a Welcome and a Torby to summon itself onto the fields. Wow. This was a beautiful play. Triggered the Clock to summon, returned the Clock back with a Big Welcome, only activatable if we had the Clock on the field. But then the Clock's not going to be good for activating unless we have a monster on the field, which the Torby is triggering because the Clock went back to the hand to summon itself onto the field, so we could discard the Clock, then use our back row card now. Let's go. A combo. Comboed up, Chandelier add back, Torby gets summoning, and then Resolve set up the Welcome Labrynth, discard the Clock, and comboed up with the Labrynth field spell, we're going to pop a card in the field. Taking out the Tryhard, at least attempting to do so, as the Arrival protects it from destruction, which I talked about earlier. Ariana's not negated from activating. She'll still get searching for a Lady Labrynth. We're going to link 2 into a Muckraker. Muckraker will discard a card to reborn a monster from the graveyard, which will be our lovely Labrynth. Very well done. Now, with the lovely Labrynth, we're going to set up the Dragon Ice Prison from the graveyard, special summoning our Lady onto the field here, ending our turn. Now, the Tryhard being a Beast Warrior, we need a Beast Warrior in the opposing graveyard to use the Ice Prison on to then banish the Tryhard. Do we have one? Warrior. We have Beast Warrior, so we do have it. We can banish. We're We're going to use the Welcome, chaining the Lady. This is where if we had something quick playable, we would want to chain link block the Lady from chaining to the Welcome, as this will now set a trap from the deck. Setting up a Dogmatica Punishment, not activatable the turn it has been set unless we use the clock. The field spell's second time destroying the Tri-Heart is going through this time as there's no arrival to protect it. Triggering the effect of the Lovely to pop a card in the field or in the hand. Triggering Ariana to search. And we got Torby summoning itself onto the field, Welcome setting itself onto the field, Chandelier adding backs to the hand. And if we activate the Torby on the field, discard the Chandelier, that will trigger the clock to add itself from the graveyard back to the hand. Then discard it, then make the Dogmatica Punishment activatable. This is wild. Okay. We're drawing with Ariana instead of using the effect to search our deck. Very well done here. Taking up the Triple Tactics talent. Torby activating, discarding the Chandelier to set a trap to trigger the clock, adding to the hand, to then discard to use the Dogmatica Punishment. As I said, let's go. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Sending Entis activating to pop a card in the field. Labrynth is also triggering to summon a Labrynth monster from the graveyard, which could also be any fiend. So a cool combo with this is if you have a Chaos Angel in the graveyard, you reborn it with your field spell, it triggers its effect to banish a card in the field even during the opponent's turn. Holy moly. Entis wiping out Balone, Labrynth reborning the Ariana, and we do have this activatable because we have triple monsters in defense. So either side of the field, triple monster in D, pop a card in the field. We're gonna steal your right card. Your right card is mine. Yeah, that was all in the draw phase, by the way. Goodbye to the Ice Prison, activating the field spell to search our deck for what? Right card into a rival. A rival could reborn. Droll, stopping the right card from being able to add. Can't add with right card, can't add with the Link 1. That's it. This is a 2-0 victory for Labrynth. Absolute decimation with Labrynth. That was insane. Now we're going to be watching our final match, round 1, to then go into the top 16. Get ready. Well, back in my day, my Monarch deck, and I don't know if this Monarch deck's going to be playing it, I played Light and Darkness Dragon. This was the coolest thing ever. This one. This is a mandatory activation. Let me show you this thing. Once per chain, during either player's turn, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, it's a mandatory lose 500 to negate. So you'd have a bunch of negates by summoning this, which I was doing back in my day. And when this card is destroyed, you can target a monster in your graveyard and then special summon it. And I played cards like Jinzo. This was in an X-Saber meta. X-Saber was the main deck. I was playing Treeborn Frog, reborning every turn during the standby phase, and playing enemy controller. So you could Econ take with the Treeborn, then reborn the Treeborn again, and then I could summon my Light and Darkness Dragon over their monster and my Treeborn Frog. Let's go. Is that Edison format? We are upstarting the Goblin, drawing Lockbird, making it so we cannot add any more cards from our deck to our hand, which looks like that has completely disrupted us. This card draws 2, we couldn't activate it. And what else could we have done here? Oh my Jesus, what was that? Hopefully we actually see Monarch make some plays as the Lily adds the Ma Friend Purrely, setting up the Ma Friend Purrely, revealing 3 quick play spells to guarantee to add one of them. Got the Happy Memory. Now, Purrely on an open field does not really one-turn kill unless they set up a really fat X Purrely Happiness. We're going to see if that's going to be the case here, which you do through Delicious, not through Happy Memory. Now, Happiness can attack multiple times into monsters, not directly, but it does get to search even though it attacks directly. So we attack directly, we will search from our deck here. We have 2100, just 2100, 2200 now. Let's speed this up. Reveal the top 3. We now have the field spell, which will make our newly special summon monsters untargetable the turn they are summoned. Making double the Happiness, 4100 damage. No multiple attacks, just get the double search. Search for Delicious, activate Delicious, equip the Delicious, and 3200, searching again. Now we got the Sleepy Memory. We can equip the Sleepy onto the Happy. That is now our 5 material play, making our X Purrely Nor. And with the field spell, we can attach another Sleepy, which will ensure we're going to draw 2 cards. Double draw during the standby phase. Let's see how this works. Double Sleepy, and we have triple spin. Spin 3 cards on the field or graveyard back into the deck. Draw 1, no hand trap, draw 2, that's it. We just have the Ash. Now, this is a draw 2 play, so I'm thinking Ash will negate, right? Draw 2, no, negate. It's going to send a Monarch card to draw 2. Does that completely shut us down now? Is it over? Are we scooping? Yes, we are. That's a scoop. All right. Maybe game 2, we'll see something good from Monarch, and then we're going to hop into the top 16. Very good. Let's get... oh, wow. Ash? Is this a hard once per turn? You can only use this effect once per turn. With no cards in the extra deck, you destroy, then draw 1, and then while in the extra deck, you could summon this from the extra deck. Wow. All that got stopped by Ash. Was that actually a correct Ash? Probably. Okay. Interesting. Upstart the Goblin, drawing into another ended turn. Ashing the Anka was a complete turn ender. No way. Ain't no way. All right, let's speed this up again. Summoning our Purrely. Look at the top 3 cards of our deck here. Adding the Purrely Street, so we will be untargetable on newly special summoned monsters here. We're going to be targeting a card in the graveyard to become a Plump. With the Plump, we want to equip cards in the hand and have cards in either player's graveyard to equip onto. We can equip the Upstart Goblin, which will help us a little bit here. We're going to use the Purrely becoming a Purrely Happiness. Now, Plump's going to suck up Upstart and our Sleepy Memory. We only have 4 material. Now, it will be 5 material as we search for a Pretty, equip the Pretty. And then with Pretty, we could suck up the Anka in main phase 2. Main phase 2, we're going to send our My Friend Purrely, sucking up the Anka, as I said. Now making the X Purrely Nor. X Purrely Nor is going to have 4 spins and draw 2 during the standby phase. Let's see how this works. What are we drawing into? Nothing. Droll. That's a really good one. Holy moly. And that triggers the Droll. Ain't no way. Upstart into draw 2. We now can't draw 2. Droll and Lockbird completely shutting down Monarchs. Oh no. Monarchs are trying their hardest. They're trying. They're trying.